Well-Fed Bachelor, and it's Memorial Day. I'm here with my buddy Mike, who's got the camera. We're going to make some grilled sous vide pork chops, a little potato salad, and some grilled asparagus. Just the two of us here today, and that's the plan. So here we go. I think first we're going to get the pork chops into the sous vide, since that takes the longest. Here we picked up a couple of pork chops at the local store. Look pretty nice. These are America's cut. I'm not sure what that means. Probably something to do with Trump. Here we go. We're going to just pop them out of here. We're going to season them. Actually, I like to rinse them off real quick. Let's do that. Let's give them a quick rinse in water. All right. Just rinsed them off. Now we're going to put a little salt and pepper. I think that's all we really need here. Pepper. I'm going to season these liberally. Salt. We're going to flip them and do the other side too. Pepper. Fresh cracked, of course. Pre-ground pepper. Tastes like dirt. More salt. Pat that in. Those guys are ready to go. And a sous vide bag. Let's get that going. I've just got a roll of sous vide bag material. Put those out of the way. We'll get the material, the bag stuff. Kind of hold it up. You always want to go a little bigger than you think you need, because it's better to be too large and too small on this. There we go. I'm going to cut off about where I think. I find a chef's knife does a pretty good job usually. Alright, we're going to get out our vacuum sealer, cube saver. This thing's kind of a piece of junk, but from what I can tell, they're all kind of junk. But it works okay. I wish they were all a little better. I wish you could get a nicer one. Alright, I'm going to seal one side here. Oh, that's not the seal button. Like for instance, the labels have wore off of the buttons here. There's two buttons, and they're just the numbers the labels are screen printed on. They wore off like in a week, and now I don't know which button is which. All right, that's good and closed. We're going to throw our pork in there. It's good to roll the bag down before you put your items in, which helps keep it from getting too wet on the outside. Helps to get a good seal. Alrighty. Pork in the bag. Get off my hand. And then just unroll the bag. Could have done this where there's more space, but I didn't. Alrighty. Try like that. And we seal. There it goes. You want to kind of watch the liquid. If it looks like it's going to get up to your seal line, you want to hit the seal button and stop it. You don't want that part to get wet because you won't get a good seal. This time I used a big enough bag. It usually happens when the bag isn't big enough, honestly. When the light turns off, we pop that open. Boom, bam! Vacuum seal goodness. Alright. Probably should have been heating up the water. Since this water is not something that we actually eat, it's just a heating medium, it's okay to use hot tap water. You don't want to cook with hot tap water because nasty things can live in your hot water heater or boiler. But this water doesn't actually come in contact with food. So we'll get a jump start on the heating by using hot tap water. sous vide machine, I have an Adnova, older model, fine. I don't think really the improvements that they've come out with or anything I need. Bluetooth, I don't know. I guess it'd be nice to know when it's the right temperature, but I can just get up and look. It's not that big a deal. Alright, this water is now hot. Let's fill this up. That's enough water. All I need is a temperature. I don't need a... Alright, so it looks like we want to go... I like my pork medium to medium rare. I think we want to go about 58 degrees Celsius. Alright. I do it all in Celsius. I don't know why, because all other temperatures I do in Fahrenheit. Celsius seems more sciencey. And this is a pretty sciencey way of cooking. What did I say, 58? So we just set that on the touch screen here. You want to get a shot of that? Good. Start. So the impeller starts circulating the water. The electric heater starts going. Here we can see that we're set to 58 degrees and it's coming up. Right now it's 51.2 and rising. 52 and rising. So we'll wait till that gets to 58, then we'll drop the pork in. In the meantime, we're also making potato salad. We need to get some water boiling for some potatoes. Let's get on that. Grab a pan. Here we don't want to use hot water, so let that hot water clear out of the pipe, because this water does come in contact with the food. And we'll just fill hot with water and bring that to a boil for the potatoes. Okay. This water we want to season liberally with salt. This is really the only way to really get any salt into the potatoes, and so soak some of this water up. Put that on high and cover it and bring it up to a boil. And let's clean our potatoes. Anything else I need to worry about here? No. Okay. Potatoes. So we got some nice new potatoes here, red potatoes. Bought these just so that we don't have to bother peeling. I like potato skins in general, but in a potato salad, Russet's skins just don't cut it. We'll just give these all a quick wash. I guess it on this light won't matter that much. Then the audio is going to be terrible. Our sous vide is up to temp. You can see there. 58 degrees. So let's put in our nice vacuum sealed pouch here of pork. And hopefully, since I think we did a pretty good job of getting the air out, it looks like that's not really going to float. Awesome. If it was floating, I would weigh it down with a measuring cup or something, glass measuring cup. So we will set a timer. Alexa, set a timer for 40 minutes.
40 minutes, starting now.
I think 40 minutes is probably enough to get that pork up to temp. We're going to finish it off on the grill anyway. A lot of people think you have to cook pork really well to avoid getting sick. In the 50s, that was true. There was a disease called trichinosis, a parasite, that lived in pork. But American pork, really, nobody's seen any trichinosis in for at least 30 years. So if you like your pork on the rarer side, I say go for it. I think you get to a certain point with pork and it just kind of is slimy if it's too rare. But I think, you know, a nice pink, juicy interior, sort of a medium rare is perfect for pork. Especially because our pork these days is so lean. It gets dried out so easily. And cooking it a little more on the rare side, keeps it a little more moist. All right, we are going to cut these potatoes. I don't really like to cut potatoes before I cook them, boil them. I think they get a little waterlogged, but in the interest of time, we're both hungry. I'm just going to cut them now. Cut them into eighths, I guess. Probably pretty good. This one's a little big. Maybe we'll cut that one a little smaller. And you're really just looking for roughly bite-sized pieces. And we're just looking to try and get roughly equal sized slices so that they cook about the same speed. If we had a bunch of small slices and a bunch of big pieces and a bunch of big pieces, the small pieces would be falling apart by the time the big pieces were done, and or the big pieces would be crunchy still by the time the small pieces were done. Alright, that's looking good. Our potato water, on the other hand, is ready, so let's start getting these potatoes in. It shouldn't really take that long, since I cut them up pretty small. That's a lot of potatoes. Ouch. Don't do that. This is not really the best way to be doing this. I should have put them on a board and scraped them in. But once you've committed, it's best to just finish out your course usually. Take that to the bank. Alrighty, we're just going to leave that on high. One dead soldier we'll throw out. And then we'll just check those every few minutes with the knife to see if they feel like they're done. And I guess in the meantime, we're going to throw some celery in the potato salad. Grab a couple ribs of that and wash them up. A good tip on parsley, why do I keep saying parsley? Good tip on celery is if you wrap it in tin foil well, it'll keep for a really long time in your vegetable drawer, like a shockingly long time. It'll stay crispy and tasty. Which, you know, if you're living and eating by yourself most of the time, those kind of tips can really help you stock fresh foods, right? Because if you don't wrap the celery in tin foil, it can go wilted in a few days. If you do, it can last for a week or more. It won't be as great as you want to really clean your celery, especially down here at the base. Gets dirt in there from the farm. All right, nice and clean. Chop that up. I like to cut off the white ends. I don't think they taste that good. I think they're a little bitter. And I usually cut off these ends because they're ugly. Alright. And then to cut the celery, I'm going to cut it first into some sticks. And then cut those into strips. So when you're working with these wider pieces of celery, you want to cut it into small bits. It's good to kind of tilt it on the side to cut that one, and then you can cut this one, and then you can get some, you know, I don't want them too small, because this is going to give the salad texture, but we don't want them too big either. So again, turn it on its side for that first cut. Really helps you to get in there safely with the knife. Cutting these in threes. This feels right. Alright, getting there. Almost done. I don't know, what do you think, Mike? Has this been a lot of work so far? You were worried at the store when we were shopping for all this stuff that this was going to be more work than we wanted to put in. Obviously, I'm doing all the work.
No, so far it's pretty good.
Not too hard, right?
No.
All right. Throw this out. You could throw this in a stock or something if you're making one. Good to keep a bag in the freezer of bits and bobs like that to throw into your stock when you do make a stock. That piece is a little big. I'm not doing that today, but I do that. And it's a good plan. I also wanted to, what do you think about onion in the potato salad?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. I think I have an onion. There we go. Alright. These are nice and small too, good. When I use raw onion like this in a potato salad, for instance, I think the key is to rinse it after you've chopped it. It really mellows out the flavor, so you don't get a really sharp raw onion taste. So I'm just going to dice this guy using a standard onion dicing technique, which I'll show you. I like to peel off the first couple outer layers. I think if you had really good source onions, you just want to peel off the papery bit, but I feel like my onions are always a little bruised up, and living in the city here, it doesn't hurt to just take off one extra layer and have a little less onion and be sure that you're down to the nice bit. Okay, let's throw this out before we continue. Alright, here we go. So to cut the onion, first I'm going to cut two cuts sideways, and it's good to hold your hand flat like that so you can't cut yourself. Almost impossible. Never say never. Then we slice down through it, and then we chop. And this I want pretty fine because it's just going into the salad like this. It gets hard to hold, you can turn it on that side and then finish it out. Ooh, and it's hitting me in the eyes. So you can tell it's a good onion. Alright, same thing here. 2 slices horizontal. Small slices vertical. Really, we're using the end of the onion to hold it all together until we're ready to do our final chop. Makes it much easier to manage and get a nice even chop. Okay. That should be plenty. And I'm going to get a little strainer or something to put that in so I can rinse it. Alright. There we go. This is difficult. Okay, you got it all in. Alright, then we just rinse it with some cold water. And this just kind of, when you break the cell walls in an onion, like hydrogen sulfide or something is released, some kind of defensive chemical, that's what stings your eyes. And I mean, a lot of the flavor that we associate with onion is part of that chemical, but when you're using the onions raw especially, you don't need a ton of that. This just makes them a lot more mellow, a lot less sharp. Okay, so our potatoes are looking like they're going to boil over, so I'm going to turn them down a little bit, then I'm going to grab my knife and feel one. And they still feel crunchy, they're not ready yet. A done potato just has the knife should just slide right in. a not done potato like these, they feel crunchy on the end of the knife. That's the best I can describe it. That's great. The final thing that we're eating here tonight is asparagus. I'm going to grill up some of this asparagus here. Oh, actually, let's eat that asparagus that I already had. It's going to go bad here soon. Alrighty. I actually had a fair amount, huh?
Yeah, those are some thick stalks.
Yeah, thanks. I can get that from all the ladies. What do you think? Is that enough for both of us? I think it is. More? Less? How much do you want?
That's good.
I think so too. Alright. So, asparagus. I know everybody says bend it, and the spot where it naturally breaks is where you want to cut. Is where you want it to cut. I don't think that's true. I think a lot of the time you just end up wasting asparagus. So I just kind of look where it starts to get a little white, and I cut it off, and I look in the end. If it doesn't look woody, that one doesn't look woody, then it's good. You know, see, that's woody. That doesn't look good to eat. So I cut it, you know, here or so, and take a look. Still looks a little woody. That doesn't look so bad. That's what I do. Good. Oh, see, that one's woody pretty high up. Even there it is. That's not a good stock. This one looks alright. Good. That's pretty woody too. Alright. These asparagus bottoms could also go in your stock freezer bag. They taste good in stock. Give it a nice sweetness. And we'll rinse off our asparagus. Asparagus is kind of tough to clean good. I just rinse it good. Put it in a colander. Just a little bit I can hold in my hand. I think just as effectively. Oops. Proved myself wrong. Alright, just kind of shake it to get some of that water out. Alright. Let's test these potatoes again. Oh, they're getting there. Still a little crunchy. They're definitely further along. They're close. Good. I'll hit the pause button. I think we got to just wait for things to cook here for a little while. Okay, we're getting real close here. We're going to wrap up our celery in foil, like I was saying. Amazing how much longer it lasts. Try it. Comment on this video if you try this technique with the celery and it works or doesn't work for you. I've had amazing luck. Crunch it in there good. It doesn't have to be airtight, but you know you want it good and tight. And you just draw it in your vegetable drawer. And that'll last at least a week and stay just nice and crispy. It's weird. Alright. I think these potatoes might be done. What do I do with my knife? Oh yeah, here it is. Alright, let's see how these are feeling. Oh yeah. Those. Just feel a couple. Make sure I'm not just getting a weird one. No, those feel about done. We'll give them a couple more minutes, but they're really pretty darn close. You don't want to overcook them, they'll start to get waterlogged and fall apart. That's not what you want in your potato salad, certainly. Okay, our pork has, I don't know, probably about 10-15 minutes left on it. So what we should do is light the grill. And my lighter on my grill is busted, so we're going to use a flat lighter. Head outside and get this grill going. Alright. Turn on propane. It's God's gas. Propane actually is a lot better to cook with than natural gas. Natural gas is easier because you can get a pipe run, assuming you have natural gas at your house. But propane is really a million times, well, not a million, it's much hotter. Obviously not a million times hotter. It burns much hotter, much more intensely. And natural gas also, when you burn it, produces water vapor, which cools things down and can be detrimental to some cooks. Alright, that's going. We'll let that heat up, head back inside. Watch the cat here. Good. Oop. Alright, these potatoes are done. They are. I'll turn them off. And we will strain them in a big colander. Alright. And here we go. You don't want to dump them too hard because they're kind of fragile. You don't want them to break up too much, you know. They still have to be stirred with the dressing, etc. Those look pretty done to me. We'll just let those drain and cool. Let's get this asparagus ready. We're going to grill this asparagus. We're going to do it very simply. Let me grab a plate here. We're just going to toss it with some olive oil, some salt and pepper, and just grill it up. Could be easier, and it will be, I assure you, delicious. Alright, let me get the olive oil. Tongs are in here. Alright. No measurements here, we're just going to drizzle on some nice olive oil. You don't really need to use super nice. This is probably a little nicer than I really need, but this stuff isn't that expensive. I don't think the olive oil actually gives a ton of flavor to this dish, maybe a little. But probably most of it is lost in the cook. Salt, liberally, pepper, liberally. Importantly, get a good pepper grinder. America was discovered because people in Europe loved black pepper so much. You know, just to show you how important a flavoring black pepper really is. Alright, that's all we got to do with those. We're just going to throw them right on the grill once the grill's hot. Right. Okay, so we can start making our dressing for our potato salad now, I think. Put this olive oil away. And, oh shit, forgot. Alright. I forgot to do the most important step with these potatoes. So hopefully we're okay. Hopefully it's not too late. Because the most important step my potato salad recipe here, which I have forgotten, is to toss the hot potatoes with vinegar. I know it sounds crazy. This is a German technique. German potato salads, they do this all the time. I'm using sherry vinegar here. You could use cider vinegar. You want a fair amount when they're still hot. And they'll just soak that up. We're going to toss those around a little bit. We're going to soak that up. And it just flavors them all the way through. It makes it so delicious, you'll be shocked. And you know, you bring this potato salad to parties and stuff, and people are like, oh my god, this is such a great potato salad, how did you make it? And you just smile and say, I'll never tell. Alright, so those are sitting in their vinegar, good. I think we saved the day there. They look like they're absorbing it. Our water is boiling. Alright, a couple of bumps in the road. But you know, that's cooking. That's how it goes a lot of the time. You know, cooking is improvisational. Recipes are like songs, and you don't have to play the song note for note in order to have it be a good tune. I really believe that. Alright, mayonnaise. use some Dijon mustard. Sure, so we're just getting a bunch of flavorful ingredients for the dressing for our potatoes. You can just kind of, this is a good one to improvise on too. The key is that, it's mainly mayo and mustard, right? That's the main components of a traditional American potato salad dressing, certainly. So a good amount of mayo here. We got a good amount of potatoes there. Just finish out this jar. It's best to mix up your dressing separately from the potatoes, and then pour it on the potatoes. The potatoes are kind of delicate at this point, and you don't want to overwork them and have them just all get turned into mashed potatoes. So that's not what we're trying to get here. So then we want some mustard. Maybe we want some other mustard. I have other mustard. That doesn't smell so good. I knew when I took that out that it had been in there a while. I have fresher mustard here. Right here. Okay. Alright, we'll use some of this mustard. Yeah, pork's still going. Alexa, how long on that timer?
You have one timer with about 4 minutes left.
4 minutes on the pork. Since we're sous videing, we need more mustard. Since we're sous videing this, it's a lot of mayo. There we go, get that mixed up. I'm going to add a little Worcestershire, just adds depth, flavor. I'm going to add a little soy too, a little tamari actually. It's a little lighter than soy. Again, just add some umami to it. Okay. There's a lot of starch in those potatoes, so you want this to be a little runny. And this is not really quite runny enough, so I'm going to add just a little bit of water, which will just help it kind of spread. There's enough emulsifiers between the mustard and the mayo. But that water will just mix right in here. That's kind of what you're looking for, kind of like a looser kind of cream-based salad dressing. You don't want it to stick as mayonnaise. Okay, now I'm going to add my onion to my dressing that I chopped earlier and rinsed. Okay, good. Then I'm going to add my celery. Thank you. And again, we're mixing all this stuff up separately from the potatoes just to spare the potatoes any extra mixing. Oh yeah. Always good to taste before you mix it into the potatoes, just to get an idea. More mustard, I think. Oh, and of course, black pepper. Salt, I think we'll wait and see if it needs it when it's mixed with the potatoes, since we salted the potatoes pretty liberally. Alright, we'll get the potatoes back in here. We're going to dress our potatoes with our dressing here. Oh, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? Good. Take a big spoon and just kind of fold that dressing in. Again, being gentle with those potatoes. You don't want mashed potatoes here. Probably a little extra more dressing than I really need, but the potatoes are going to soak some of that up too, so let's see where we end up. I don't think it looks that bad. Okay. Now it's important to taste a potato actually for seasoning. Pretty vinegary. No more salt. Alexa, stop. That's our pork timer. It's a little vinegary. A little vinegary, we could add a tiny bit of sugar. I don't like my potato salad sweet. I feel like maybe I overcompensated for getting the vinegar by putting just a tad too much. So I'm going to throw a touch of sugar. Maybe a teaspoon of sugar for this whole thing. I don't want it to taste sweet at all, but just to cut that vinegar a tad. Some people like sweet potato salad. Personally, I don't. Alright. One more taste. Want to taste?
No.
Pretty good. I'm going to turn the sous vide off. I'm going to unplug it first thing so that we don't have an accident. Then I'm going to grab a knife and I'm going to get some paper towels ready to dry this pork off. Right on the counter there. Take this out of the sous vide. So it looks like that once it's cooked. I'm going to cut open just a corner here of the bag and let some of those juices drain out. They will. They won't. Alright. Then I'm going to cut the bag wide open here. I'm just going to reach in and grab that pork and put it on my paper towels. Alright. There we go. Mabel, get out of here. Hey. Yeah. Pork here. Looking pretty delicious, I think. We are going to hit it with a little bit of vegetable oil. Why vegetable oil? Because it doesn't matter what kind of oil. Vegetable oil is neutral tasting and has a nice high smoke point. We're going to sear these guys as high as we can because they're really cooked all the way. They just don't look very good yet. Alright, a little bit of olive oil here. Rub that on. It's really just to make sure that it gets a nice even heat. Has a good chance to brown. We'll do the same on the other side. Actually, we should just put these on a plate. Okay. That side again. Alright. It's important that you dry off your meat after you sous vide it before you sear it so that it can get a good sear. If it's wet on the surface, then it'll steam instead of searing, browning like you want. A little more olive oil, or vegetable oil, I should say. Alright, these guys are ready to go on the grill. The grill is probably just about ready. I'm going to rinse off my pan. Got cold water running on those eggs. Hopefully they are not overdone, but are done. And we're going to get our asparagus. We're going to get our pork and our tongue. And why don't we head out to the grill? Okay, is this grill hot? My grill is nice and hot. I don't want to burn the asparagus. I want to grill it good though, so I'm going to turn my rear heater down a little bit so it's not quite so hot in the back, and that's where I'm going to put the asparagus right now. First I'm going to clean off the grill a little bit. Okay. going to put this on in about an even layer. Right on the grill. And then the pork, same thing. Up front, where it's as hot as I can get it. Gas grill, you always want to close when you're cooking on it, because they don't get as hot as charcoal by a long shot. And that helps keep the heat in, helps everything cook good. These pork chops are going to sear in no time. Maybe 30 seconds on the side. That's what I guess. And again, we sous-vided them for 40 minutes here, so they're already the perfect temperature all the way through. We're just trying to make them look nice and taste good on the outside. Get that caramelization and give them that nice flavor. Okay, I think that pork should be about done. Yeah, you know, we could have gotten a little browner, but I don't want to overcook it. And the asparagus, we're just going to give it a little turn and let that go a little longer. It feels a little hard. Okay. All greasy here. This asparagus, I think that's looking pretty done. How do you feel about asparagus? It's still a little chewy, Mike.
Fantastic.
Yeah? Alright. Let's take this off. Okay. We are almost done here. I'm going to shut off the grill. Shut off the propane before I forget. And bring the stuff aside. Now we're going to let that meat rest. Looks pretty good. I'm going to wash my hands up. Alright, so then we are ready to eat. Why don't we plate up a plate? Why don't we pause, plate up a plate, and then we'll have a final look and a taste. Okay, so Mike and I are going to try this here together. We've got our asparagus, our potato salad, and our sous vide grilled pork chop. Let's see how that pork chop is looking first of all. Just cut right in half. That to me looks pretty awesome. So you see it's just a tiny bit pink. It's definitely moist, a lot of moisture. Let's taste it. That was freaking delicious. A little pepper in the back of my throat. Man, that is good. Let's try this. The asparagus. Very sweet. Really good. And the potato salad. That's a pretty good meal. Mike, you try. I'm going to hold the camera.
All right. Let's dig in here.
What's that, the pork?
Pork is excellent.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Nice and juicy, right?
Mm-hmm. That's sear. Perfect.
Asparagus.
Amazing texture. Great grill.
We barely did anything to that, right? We tossed it olive oil, salt, pepper, and threw it on the grill for a couple minutes.
Let's see what we got here with the...
Now the kind of hacked together potato salad, how'd it come out?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, you like it?
Yeah.
I think it's pretty good
balance.
too. Pretty good too, nice and creamy.
Mm-hmm.
Potatoes are cooked nice.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, guys, we are, I think we're all done here. We're going to grab a couple beers or maybe make some old fashions, something I've been playing around with, and we're going to eat and have a happy rest of our Memorial Day. And happy Memorial Day to all of you. Thanks.